Welcome back to the Good Talk, where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, both Warhammer and otherwise. What's up, John?
What's up? Hey, you looking good, man.
Oh, thanks.
You looking good.
Yeah, I'm ready to go to sleep. These sunglasses are like putting me to sleep.
He might actually be. He might be asleep right now. We don't know. He has sunglasses on. Look, we got some stuff to talk about, right? We have a good talk.
Yes.
What's the topic again?
Votann.
Yeah.
Are they good?
They changed. Are they good? Are they the best?
Whoa, that's
High praise.
That's high praise. I think they've definitely got some glow ups, but I don't know if they're the best. That might belong to Eldar.
Yeah, certainly. So to overview what changed about Votann. Previously, at the beginning of the game, you pick one unit that starts with 2 grudge tokens. Now you pick 4 units.
Double.
That's a lot. It's more than double. It's actually 4 times as many.
I think that's a good change. I like that.
It's a lot. I think in most matchups you'll struggle to find 4 important targets.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice because now you can pick a target that you know you'll kill early.
Yeah.
And just cash in on your 3 CP.
Right. Now it's just like nice to have. It's better than having no judgment tokens and like having to put BS4 things into like these small auxiliary things that are just annoying and like really swingy to kill. But I did play against Votann in the only tournament I've done since the balanced data slate, and it was against my T-Sons, and those 4 judgment tokens was just like my whole army. It was like I had 8 units. It was Magnus and then like my big blocks, and so it was very, very good. I still won that match. I think Votann still have a long ways to go. They're still pretty squishy. Given all the the armor of contempt that they have 2 up saves, good toughness. Somehow they just don't feel very durable. I think now they're just cheap, and that was the only other change, right?
Right, their points went down, and that happened to a lot of factions. Most armies just saw points changes. Not a fan, personally. I think
it messes with the feel of it, right?
Yes.
Like you want to be like big dwarves, fairly elite, or at least some portions of your army should be elite. And you want to feel like you have a working army and not just like a swarm of little dwarfs, right? Which is kind of what it feels like sometimes when they get these points changes.
Yeah, with every army, there's a quantity that feels right. And sometimes it's hard to zone in on the boundaries of that, but like it is obvious to most people that 300 Space Marines is too many, right?
Yeah.
You don't want a Space Marine army to be 300 Space Marines. Yeah. You also don't want a Space Marine army to be 10 Space Marines, right? Like there's a range for every army, and I feel like the points changes may have addressed some strengths and weaknesses with certain codexes, but it also exacerbated some of the problems with the lore and the design of these books, or the lack thereof. In that Hearthcan Warriors like do nothing. Like,
Dude.
Why do we have them?
Yeah, right?
And Sagittars are amazing. Hearthcan Warriors exist to be in a Sagittar to allow you
so
to
they don't immediately die on deployment.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Even the Land Fortress. Now that we're in this world where like points have gone down on stuff, a Land Fortress does feel cheap for what it is.
Didn't even kill the Chimera, dude.
They just don't do what they used to do. You know?
Yeah, they used to be huge damage dealers and very durable. Now it's hardly both.
And they're short range. I think, honestly, if you fix the range on them and they can sit back and like be a long-range threat that's durable enough that you don't want to deal with it, I would be happy with that. But at 24-inch range, you're struggling, man. And it's the repulsor problem of like, well, it's a transport and a gunboat. What do you really want it to do? You're paying points for all those things. I get it.
Yes.
But it is also the only mainline tank in the book. So do they need a mainline tank that's not a transport? Yeah. Would that be okay? Like, if you could have 6 tanks, is that all right?
Right.
A lot of weird questions to answer with Votann. It's a weird book. I think it's still Codex Hearthguard, which is unfortunate. I hate to see codexes be pivotal around one unit, unless it's a very elite codex like Custodes or Thousand Sons. I don't know.
I mean, you played it today.
Yeah.
You, spoilers, did win that one, but it was against Guard, right? Like, what would you rate tier-wise Votann? Do you think it stands at the tippy top?
No.
Beats Eldar every time?
No.
Will consistently win events? Or do you think this event, this 89-person GT last weekend, it's like a one-off?
No, I think it's strong. I think it will occasionally win events. But it's going to have matchups that it really is ineffective in. It's not great at trading because it's a book of very few units that do anything.
Right.
So if you come up against an opponent who can kill your Hearthguard, you're in trouble. Because your Hearthguard, just like your Shadow Sword did all the work, my Hearthguard did all the work.
Yeah.
And if you were able to rip through them in a turn, even if you can kill 10 in a turn, that's like, you put the Votann player on a 2-turn clock,
yeah.
which is aggressive. They're slow. They're not really going to handle your 2-turn clock. So I think it will win events when it gets a good win path, and I think it is a strong faction, certainly compared to a lot of other factions, but it's immobile. It generally struggles with range, and it struggles with durability. And those are 3 of the strongest things in the game. Mobility, I would put it number 1 in the game, and then range and durability, I would put 2nd and 3rd. Everybody tries to get output, so like, if you don't have output, you're not playing the game. So I don't know. I think they're just missing some key aspects to be really big competitors.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, especially when you mention win path, because there's a lot of, given the indexes, they're more one-dimensional than we're used to in 9th, and so they run into very hard counters very often. So win path is more important than ever. Fair enough.
Cool.
Very cool. Do we have some super chats?
Yes, we do. So this first one came in earlier today. This one is from Colin Fanning. Thank you so much, Colin. And Colin says, list 5:20 p.m. PST, Grey Knights tournament list. Limited on options, but wondering what you guys think / how should I play it? And what should I aim to change for my next tournament? You guys rock.
Yeah, this is a good question. We had a friend of ours, friend of the studio, Omar, who was playing in the LGT, and he had mentioned, he had asked us, his first matchup was, I guess they showed the pairings early. He was guard against Grey Knights round 1, and he was asking for tips. And so it's cool seeing what other Grey Knight players are running in the LGT. It was a good list. A lot of champions, a lot of Terminators, and a lot of Purifiers. Strange list. But we'll take a look at yours. Right off the bat, I see a champion with First in the Fray. Good. Love the fight first. Brotherhood Librarian. I'm only seeing 1 with Sigil of Exigence. Well done. They're good. I like taking 3. Just the damage is amazing. It's one of the winners. And then Castle and Crow, of course. Mr. Crow. Always good. I can see some Purifiers in your future. A block of 10 Terminators. Amazing. Probably going with the Librarian and the Exigence. 2 strike squads, nice. Cool. Well, before that, let's get through the list. 2 squads of interceptors, squads of 5, nice, good mobility. Squad of 10 purifiers, yes, I love it. Castle and Crow gets added to the squad, literally doubles their attacks on their psychic power. Goes from 1 shot to 2 shots, so good. And a Knight Crusader. Okay, this is flipping this list on its head. So this is the Battle Cannon, Gatling Cannon combo. The Knight Crusader.
In this economy?
In this economy, right? No, Towering has gotten a bit of a nerf, and you're not getting access to the strats, so it's a little risky, but it does sure up a lot of things for the Grey Knights. It lets you do damage, and it lets you stay on the table. Gives you a hammer, or really an anvil. So that you can stay on points and not just blink away at this first sign of trouble, right?
It also gives your opponent a large vehicle to put their large anti-vehicle weapons into.
Right, in which you have none besides that.
Right.
So, how should I play this? Let's start with that. How should you play this list? You are probably putting the knight on a point that you think is a little contentious. It's not in the forefront of like, oh, it's for sure going to die because it goes in the middle. It's probably like your natural like expansion objective, like your second objective that's not your home.
This guy plays StarCraft.
So it's something that your opponent wants to go for, but needs to sacrifice a lot to get there. So that's where you put that knight. have it shoot things that come its way. It's going to be hard to get sight with the knights now, so you'll have to play pretty cagey, really think about the turns. Everything else, Grey Knights are just a cagey army. Interceptors have to be ready to go to do actions. Terminators are another kind of anvil unit that you can push up to really contest things. You have to be careful because you can lose them. Oh man, make sure you're sticky with strikes. You get on objective, you leave once it's your command phase to go somewhere else. You play Grey Knights like you play Grey Knights. You poke and prod at things, you get them low, you shoot all your storm bolters every turn, you do your purifying smites, you do your librarian every turn, and it's really how you thread the needle and not taking damage and delivering damage is how you excel at Grey Knights. You don't want to lose things because you're quite elite still. And you just got to keep scoring secondaries, keep scoring primary. Primary is going to be tough, so that's what you got to focus on. What should you change? It's hard not to fit you into my mold and what I think Grey Knights should be played. Because I think Terminators, Paladins and Terminators, spamming those is just the way to go, and a ton of Librarians. Those two things just spam through the roof, and that's the best Grey Knights can be, because it's the most value. But I like the tech with Crow and the Purifiers. I don't think you need 2 Interceptors. I think 1 is fine. The Fire and Fade is, good just to have 1, so you can get to your area denial if you get it, or your teleport homers if you have it. Just get to some place. And then 2 strikes. Again, I think you could do 1 sticky unit, not 2. Think strikes with the champion, starting on the home objective, sticky that, and then go sticky something else. Maybe your second objective is the one that the knight goes to, secures on the first turn. Now you're there with the strikes the second turn, you're sticking that. Now the knight can go off and play, and you're just taking over the board slowly, being really, really annoying. Again, the game is going to be how much you can thread the needle on not dying and still doing damage. And it's going to depend a lot on how many mistakes your opponent makes, right? There's a lot of gotchas, there's a lot of tricks that Grey Knights can do. They can pick up their units when things get close. They can make things untargetable. You need to use all those stratagems to kind of push through to the win. I think Grey Knights are pretty good now. I don't know if they're the best, but they're pretty good. Hopefully that's a good enough answer. It's a lot.
Yep, thank you. Thank you. Before we move on, I just want to thank Zell Nasty for gifting 5 memberships.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Zell Nasty.
Good to hear from you. Hopefully you're doing well, Zolnasty.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, living your best life.
Yeah, oh yeah. This next one is from Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel says, hey guys, what's on your guys' wish lists for new factions and new units to be released this edition? I want to hear both sensible and ridiculous ideas.
Yes. Okay, new list for new factions. That's a huge, and new units, right? That's the ridiculous thing. New faction?
Dark Mechanicum. Zotes.
This edition.
I don't think you could possibly get 2 new factions in an edition. That's too much.
No.
But Dark Mechanicum is the more reasonable answer. Zotes probably never coming back, but it's fun to imagine.
Yeah, I think Zotes, gosh. I mean, we all thought Votann was a troll, right? Like, Zotes, I mean, we know they're in the lore, right? Like, they're around. Do they have an actual faction? I don't know.
They're like in the outer rim of the galaxy.
Oh, really? They have like a civilization?
Yeah, I think they're like pirates.
They have a culture?
They're like pirate people. I could be totally off base, but
really? Okay.
Yeah, they're like a big part of Rogue Trader lore.
Yeah. Okay, then that's my. Can that be my answer? Zotes.
Murder spiders.
Oh, like from Horus Heresy?
Yeah. I want murder spiders as a faction.
Didn't they get eradicated from their home planet? Oh, it's a little bit of a spoiler. It's a first book.
Murder spiders would be awesome. Don't ruin this for me, John.
Yeah.
I want them to be actual spiders that you put on the table.
Yeah.
And you don't control them, they just move around.
No.
Oh my gosh. Don't they have like psychic powers too or something?
Oh yeah, murder spiders are terrifying.
Oh no.
Yes. Okay, those are good ones. New units. Okay. We need a new aspect warrior, obviously. We always say that.
Primaris everything. Primaris sisters, Primaris orcs, Primaris custodes, Primaris guardsmen. I want Primaris
Literally.
everything.
Yeah, we want Primaris in the name. Primaris guard. This is a space marine. Man, that's a, oh man, I can't think today, man. Other units?
I think we nailed it, John. There are factions that clearly need units. Like Votann don't have tanks.
Yeah, oh yeah. You mentioned
Harlequins don't have anything.
they don't have flyers.
Votann don't have a flyer. They should have a flyer.
Oh, it's the floating shoebox. It actually doesn't even have wings. It's just a floating box. It's actually a land fortress, and the wheels go down, and then they just lift off.
It's a hover fortress.
It's a hover. Yeah.
I think you actually just take the wheels off, and there's just the peg that the wheel goes on, and it just flies around.
It's a
It's a sky fortress.
they actually sell a kit for the land fortress, and it's just clippers. Yeah, I want to see an aspect warrior. I know there's a lot of Eldari stuff, but I think they could do for some refresh stuff.
Too many elves.
So many elves.
We need less elves. Let's call the elves.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Okay.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. This next one is from John McCardle.
Hey.
John. And John says, Bridger, could we possibly have Heresy on Twitch since we can't let Heresy fly first class on the YouTube channel?
Now you're thinking, John. Now you're thinking with Twitch portals. Yeah, the Heresy would definitely be on the list of games that we can play on Twitch.
Oh my gosh.
I think this is a great opportunity for us, John. Play all these games we've wanted to play, but we've been too afraid to only have to. And now we can proudly have to them.
Just have to them all.
We just love games. As I'm sure you can tell, we play a lot of games. We also talk about a lot of games. There are a lot of games.
There's a lot of games, and people get mad when we suck at them. We still do.
But not on Twitch. That's what we're hoping. We'll get away with it.
To be able to play board games.
Yeah,
dude.
we can play
that
everything.
would be so cool.
Yeah.
We could paint. We could just sit around and talk. We can do a podcast, John.
We can literally do this.
We can do a podcast. We should move this stream to Twitch.
Can we learn rules while live streaming on Twitch?
You're just sitting there reading a book?
Yeah, we're just
this is really
it's
cool.
just
Have you
chatting.
read this? Like,
Yeah. Jack can teach me how to play Heresy. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'll take so many hours.
Chat plays Heresy.
Chat plays Heresy. That's good. Yeah, that's good. I've been wanting to play some Heresy. I know there's a T-Sons list, or T-Sons army that Zach has that I can borrow. So I've been into that. It's good.
Cool.
Nice.
Sweet.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. This next one is from, it's a two-parter from Fate's Daydreamer. Part 1 is the dream. Part 2 is the action. Okay, so keep that in mind.
Right.
Thank you, Fate's Day. They say, hey, TTT, had fun watching this game. Got me thinking on a guard list focused on Valkyries, Sentinels, and Hellhounds as a basis. How would you go about that? Kind of looking at the mobility side of this.
Yeah. I think Sentinels and even Hellhounds are big winners in the index. Like they're going to be quite efficient. You're going to be mobile. And you might actually do some damage, especially against certain armies. You have a lot of cheap las cannons from Sentinels and a lot of cheap flamers from Hellhounds. So you can pick up a lot of things. Tyranids, other factions. I don't know.
Yeah?
Valkyries, I don't know if I'm sold on Valkyries. It has like one gun. It's gonna hit on like 3 or 4, and then if it misses, you're just done. So
You got this, John.
you just left all of a sudden. I'm panicking. Oh no.
You're doing great, John.
Yeah.
You want to go to part? We could go to part 2.
There was a question in here. How would I go about it?
Yeah.
Though.
How
would I go about it? Like, what else would I need? That's hard to say. I will say you have a good screen. Usually Sentinels are screening for your indirect. Index wants to play indirect. Sentinels do that. If you're taking a lot of them, awesome. Hellhounds even more. Now you have a great screen. Maybe you be a little efficient and just take Lord Solar and 3 indirect guns. Maybe like 2 Basilisk and a Mana Core is what I would do. So like you have 3 units hitting on 2s or 3s for that faction. And then that's probably all your points, to be honest. That's a lot of vehicles. You're going to give up a lot to bring it down. You can't go wrong with some Guardsmen or some Tempestus, especially if you have Valkyries, just to play the game. Deep Strike in, do some actions, get engaged, also help you screen, keep Lord Solar alive. And that's how you would go about it. I think that's your points right there. Good list.
Thank you.
Second part?
Second part, thank you again, Fate Stay. And Fate Stay says, dropped list in list building at 9:41 p.m. PST. I always like the Valkyries. And the new Sentinels are amazing. And who doesn't like a mobile gas can and Hellhounds? Thoughts?
Dude, do Hellhounds still explode Fate Stay for a lot? I wonder. I should look that up. That would be awesome.
Yeah, they do.
Nice. Okay, wait. I always forget where list building is. Okay. Is 8:41? Oh wow, just came in.
9:41, yeah.
Okay.
It sounded like they sent off the first super chat. That got them thinking.
Yeah.
They made a list and then,
Yeah, cool. Whoa, that's a lot of Tempestus command squads. It's 3 Tempestus command squads, which is that's a lot of points. That's 80 points each, 140 or 240 for just 3 squads. Especially if you put them into the Scion squads. It's 3 Scion squads. I love it. Love it. I would take those 2. Good utility. I took them today. 2 squads of 3 armored Sentinels. Okay, amazing. I would take this in any list. 3 Hellhounds with Inferno Cannon. Nice. 3 single Scout Sentinels. I love it. Good tech. Keep them cheap. You know that you're not going to bring these Scout Sentinels back. They're really just for the Scout move. And then 3 Valkyries. Interesting. Excuse me. Oh no.
Too late. I don't love Valkyries.
Yeah, right? I love the aesthetic of Valkyries, but they're so expensive. They're 190 points for really 1 good gun and a bunch of little shots, I think it is. I think there might be a Gatling option too. So I'm like thinking of the damage output and like looking at Guard's strength. And it's like, oh, I guess Sentinels can do a lot of that. Sentinels are really carrying this list right now. And the Hellhounds. I feel like there's a lot you can cut in the form of characters. I'm trying to make some indirect work, like Lord Solar and like a couple Basilisk at least. I don't know. I like the list though. It's very cool. It's very thematic, and your opponent's gonna love seeing like 3 Valkyries and like things dropping out of it. So there's an awesome aesthetic piece there. If you can get some wins out of this, like you will be styling on dudes, and you should take pride in that for sure. I don't know. I like the list. What can I say? I want to play it. I wish we had more Hellhounds so we can run it, or Sentinels really is what we need. But if you wanted, I feel like it's more competitive to take maybe like 500 points, 400 points of indirect, just to do some damage. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fate Stay.
Thank you. Well, that was all the questions.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat, for joining us. Feel free to leave a comment, hit the like button. Let us know. We read the comments. You know, we love hearing from you. And catch our Saturday game. It's Thursday already. We get to catch our Saturday game. It's going to be Jukari versus Space Marines. I think we're playing the new Space Marine stuff. So that's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to learn it together and see how strong it is. It's going to be awesome. We'll catch you next time. See you there on the tabletop.
Bye.